World Crisis Radio. We are calling your attention to the need to get out and demonstrate, to do something, to make your voice heard, peaceful petitioning for the redress of grievances, First Amendment rights. If you don't use them, you're going to lose them. So that means emergency anti-war demonstration, Lafayette Park at the White House, Saturday, December 12th, 2009, 11 a.m. Stop the Obama-Reid Pelosi escalation of the Afghanistan war. And indeed, on Tuesday, December 1st, if that is the day, yes, Tuesday, December 1st, if that's the day that Obama actually goes on television, because he dithers so much you can't tell. This is now tentative but not positive. He's going to be speaking from his vantage point of West Point, New York. Maybe he'll be visited by Major Andre in his Ghost, because that's what he's doing to the U.S. with these lunatic decisions. Obama will be making that speech. Look for flash actions, spontaneous demonstrations to take place in many places. One obvious one is at the White House, but also many other places. I check your local peace movement, and if they don't have something up there, ask them why not. And remind people, if you've given contributions to the peace movement in the past, if they're not out there demonstrating now, what the GD good are they? It's time to get busy on this front. So again, 35,000 U.S. troops in addition to the invasion force already there, 10,000 more NATO on top of 68,000 in the current invasion force, 113,000 as the goal. And bingo, that's exactly the Soviet level. There we are, Soviet level between 115,000 and 125,000 for most of that time. You know, the right-wing talkers are gloating that Obama is now going to adopt the policy of the previous administration. Yes, he is, of the Leonid Ilyich Brezhnev administration, of the stagnation, the guy who presided over most of the descent of the Soviet Union into chaos and collapse. That's what we're looking for right now in Afghanistan. We know from any number of sources now. We have Matthew Ho saying that what the U.S. is doing is blundering into a situation where you have a national resistance against invasion that has nothing to do with international terrorism, even if that crazy argument ever held up, which it does not. See my book, 9/11 Synthetic Terror Made in USA, to lose all illusions that 9/11 was planned from a cave by these characters, the gaggle of psychotic patsies in the Hindu Kush. Nothing more fantastic. But we've also got Robert Baer, right, former CIA, who says the same thing. You're blundering into a national resistance against foreign invasion, and make no mistake about it. The media focusing on the obvious parallels now between Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964-65 and Obama. And we had Bill Moyers last Friday evening playing a whole series of LBJ telephone calls to Richard Russell, his great friend in the Senate Armed Services Committee, to such other distinguished figures as Senator Fulbright from Arkansas, Mike Mansfield, the Democratic leader, and so on. And Richard Russell told him privately, he said, I'm telling you, don't go there. It's not worth it. It's going to be a defeat. You're going to have 10 years, heavy casualties, and you're going to lose no matter what you do. Johnson hesitated. And, of course, Johnson was given a good big push by what? By the Gulf of Tonkin incident, August 1964, which was, of course, a completely hoked-up exercise, as has emerged. Not only the second round of attacks, everybody admitted never happened, but probably also the first round of attacks never happened. You can see Admiral Stockdale's testimony on that score. So that's what happened under LBJ. So that reminds us, increased level, I would say now, red alert for false flag operations, Gulf of Tonkin incidents. This is precisely the time for it. There's a lot of comparison of Obama with LBJ, right? The Lehrer report, PBS in general, the more sort of scholarly, cerebral, sort of left-oligarch news broadcasts going into this. Remember, though, Johnson had real achievements, right? The Civil Rights Act, he had Medicare, he had any number of real steps forward that had been done. Obama, of course, has zero. So I think the collapse of Obama's popularity now going on, which we'll talk about later, was probably going to be accelerated beyond any comparison to LBJ. And, of course, the big issue now is, since Obama is apparently embarked on the stubborn course of escalation and national suicide, where is the figure in the Democratic Party or near it that's going to come forward and say, Obama, I challenge you in the Democratic primaries. I want to take the Democratic nomination away from you, and if I don't do it, I'll have a third party, and I'll defeat you any way I can. That is now what it comes down to. Too bad the left liberals let themselves be duped. Too bad the left liberals were so blinded by their hatred of Bush Cheney that they threw themselves into the arms of a villain and a dissembler and a hypocrite like Obama. The other big theme, of course, the Carter theme is now very big. Obama being compared to the catastrophic Trilateral Commission puppet Jimmy Carter. That's all over the place. The only problem, again, there is it's almost 2 years too late, guys. I came up with all that in January of 2008, and now we're practically in December of 2009. So nice going, only 2 years too late. Now, a couple of other things. Obama is very testy about leaks. He's remember last week we reported that fascinating headline story in the Globe that Obama has this possible lung cancer drama going on, coughing fits, chest pains, 25-pound weight loss, and I think the week or two before that we had Obama's temper tantrums, chewing the carpet, so to speak, about his lack of popularity, about all the guff he has to take from the hoi polloi. These are the laments of a rich elitist, at least in his mentality. He's now snapping at reporters. Reporters started a question to him saying, Mr. President, we don't want to rely on leaks, but I'd like to ask you. And then Obama interrupts and says, why stop now? In other words, you've been relying on leaks all along. The process of the 10 war councils has been filled with leaks. Yeah, necessarily, because there are different factions in the Washington bureaucracy. The State Department with Matthew Ho, presumably the CIA also with Robert Baer, speaking for them from outside, right, a former official there. There are undoubtedly factions in there, and they will leak. Now, will Obama then go down the path of Richard Nixon? Has he got somebody in there like Rahm Emanuel playing the role of Henry Kissinger and saying, Mr. President, you've got to do something about this. Your authority is in danger. Let's create a special unit and call it the Plumbers, and then let's take it from there. The CIA coup against Nixon called Watergate then emerged. We'll be back in just a second.